Morning all. 24mm Cumax cutter ordered before Christmas arrived today. Blaming all sorts of things, weather, COVID, boss run off with a secretary, all that sort of thing. But we shall see. Time to get Punchinelle in a bit of test stainless to see whether we've got the right size for Chris to weld to. Let's go. Trying to make more interesting videos for you. That's a 24mm hole, Christopher. Young Christopher. See, you're trying ever so hard to make your life easier. That doesn't sound right, does it? But I think that ain't bad. And what he said was, he can get his little grinder in there. So yeah, and he should be able to get a thick felt tip pen in there. Brilliant. Right, how about that then? We have got the right size hole. It's always good. Next, you see, look, I've been trying, really have been trying to make this more professional and everything with this wonderful little travel tripod. Shut up, Bailey. Okay, so with a little bit of die grinding, I think we'll be fine with that. Excuse me. What I need to do now, it's not a COVID cough. That's because I was doing some drilly stuff with woody dust and saw and things. So we're okay for these now. That should make welding an awful lot easier. I need to get the larger tri-clamps, which means searching back. This is why, advance warning, this is why the rest of my morning is going to be pretty much enjoying Harry Brew 69's little website, because I'll start looking for the one where he's got the tri-clamp fittings for fitting the normal immersion heaters, and then I'll start watching something else about chickens or about having his dog's bollocks cut off or something. That won't mean much to many people who don't follow his channel, but poor Reggie. Or, you know, I don't know, watching him do something or other. So my morning will be spent sat on his website looking for the tri-clamp fittings. Could be worse. The Lambic is still going. Right, back soon when there's something more interesting to do than film the filming, if that, you see what I mean. Now, somebody asked me why in those large Sankey 100-litre Sankey kegs I didn't have two 4 kilowatt elements, and the reason for that, basically our power supply here, we have got 3-phase, but I'm going to keep it all single phase. We have 236 and a tad, say 237 volts coming in. Now 4 kilowatts divided by that would be over the 16 amp. It'd be more like 18 amp. I've only got a couple of 16s feeding the copper, so with 2 3 kilowatt elements I should get a reasonable rolling boil on anything up to about 80 80 litres or so in there, maybe 90 if I push it and use anti-foam. And at 237 volts I'll be drawing just over 13, maybe at a push edging towards 14 amps. Now this is actually good that we got 237. If we had 220, then what you do is you divide your load by your voltage, and that gives you your ampage. So we're okay with this, pushing it up here a little bit. Obviously if I was going for 3-phase, I'd be dividing 430 by, but be dividing it by 430, so it'd be easy. If I've got 3-phase here, this whole building's got quite a few little luxuries if you ever wanted to be like a professional and pretend you knew what you were doing. That's a 32 3-phase, so that would power a pretty hefty little brewery, but I have no pretensions. I'm happy being a little budget brewer, a budget on a budget brewer. So that's why I'm not going to push my luck by having a couple of 4 kilowatt elements in there. For the extra 2k over a couple of 3 kilowatts, I think we'll be all right. Couldn't resist. That's the lambic. We're down. It's a nice gradual but controlled ferment. It's down to 1.040 ish, I think now. Oh, isn't that good? Now I have a question, and I would seek the advice of people who know far better than I of these things. We've got these 3 wooden barrels, and they all came with the wooden taps. Which, now, here's my dilemma. As some of you will know, I was going to clear that shelf over there and have a tidy up. Stephen Law, you're absolutely right. I should kidnap Harry and bring him over here and have a day, and perhaps get a skip as well. But that's not happening. So I was going to look on that shelf over there, put these on there. Thing is, gets really hot in here in the summer. What I don't want is to have lots of fluctuating temperatures when I'm aging this, because it's going to be 1, maybe 2 years. Now, I've got a room upstairs with air conditioning in, which is generally at a constant 16. It would have been nicer to have it a bit lower, but that's what I've got, so I can keep it at 16, which I think is all right for aging. What I'm worried about, I can't talk. No, I won't start again. What I'm worried about is, once I've got it in here, any pressure that builds up, it's just going to pop that out, and I'm going to end up with 30 litres of lambic all over the floor. Now, so what I could do is keep checking that and keep banging that in, but if I was to forget, and I did think, what I could do is get one of these really useful boxes and put the that's where all my various different little bits of malts is, and put one of the wooden barrels in there, so that if it did pop out, at least it's contained. But then I thought, actually I prefer it if it didn't pop out altogether. Now the other 2 barrels came with these brass taps too, and they are actually 1/2-inch BSP thread. So once we have inside here, we have our lambic. These will need obviously conditioning first. You fill them full of boiling water and leave it for 3 or 4 days, and empty it, and then do the same thing again until all the wood's swollen up and sealed and everything. And then once the lambic's in here, this will keep this sealed here, because the wood will, thingy, expand. But my question is, and I hopefully have some knowledgeable people who will be able to put me right on this. The question is, these are brass. the acids in the beer over time could react with the brass. That's my concern. But because these are half-inch BSP, I suppose I could take these out and replace them with stainless steel, just like a little stainless steel tap bung type thing. So that's where I'm at thinking with there. Is the brass going to be a problem? I don't like the idea of brass and the acids in the beer, but I still think it's going to be better than these wooden taps. I mean, these look nice, but I mean, fuck it. And I did try and get wooden barrels without the hole, so that I could then just either use a wine thief just to check them, or just siphon out when we're ready for bottling. So that's where I'm at with that. Will the brass be a bad thing? This one, typically, this is the best barrel. Actually, this is the far better built barrel. I could knock that hole out to about half-inch, and then, well, just under half-inch, it'll be about 11.5, 12 or something. Well, is half-inch 12 mil or 13 mil? I can never remember. But anyway, make it a tight hole, because we want a tight hole, and then screw in a half-inch BSP tap in our tight hole. So that's where I'm at. Oh, but it's not going to go in there for another month or so yet anyway. But yeah, advice please, boys and girls, anybody who knows about aging beers in wooden barrels. Not happy with that. Now today is actually this vlog. I started this vlog yesterday, and I've recorded two ends to this vlog. I got, after doing the filming yesterday and after going through talking about the electrics and everything, which I think is the last bit of video that will be going before this clip, I've spent the last day comforting and supporting colleagues and friends who are about as broken as I've ever known anybody. I'm talking about health workers, care workers, health and social care workers, and I suspect a lot of other people I know will be feeling this as well. I know two ambulance drivers, paramedic, my GP, I think, is on the verge of a breakdown. Well, actually, she's not my GP anymore. She's kind of like retired, but come back to help out. And my great concern is that we are approaching a really, really dire point in this pandemic. I think it's affected me quite badly, because these are people that I've always had just so much love for and so much respect for, and so much just, I mean, these are the most inspiring and most wonderful professionals. And I've worked with loads over the years, over the last, coming up for 40 odd years. I've worked with some of the best medics that the country's got. And to see people I care about at the moment who are broken is incredibly distressing. And I just feel like there's nothing I can fucking do. So anyway, I filmed two now. This is the third ending that is going to be to this vlog that I started yesterday. If you want to see the rants in the other two, send me a private message via Facebook or something, and I'll send you a link to the two outtakes that I've done. But I'm not making them public because they're morose. But it's just to say, for all of the other people that I know who I haven't spoken to recently, and I know quite a few of you watch these silly little videos, I'm thinking about you, and I know that you're suffering, and I know it's really, really shit for you at the moment. And when this is over, we are going to have the mother of all fucking parties in here. We're going to clear this all out again, And for those who've been to parties here, you know, we can get a couple of hundred people in there when it is all cleared out. And it does all clear out, it does all pack away. We are going to have the mother of all parties, and I'm going to brew some massive beers, and everyone's just going to get completely wankered. And we'll look back on this in a year or two, and it'll be an unfortunate memory. But for now, hold it together, guys. I love you, and I have so much respect for you, and I know how much pressure you're under. And everybody else, just forget the fucking clapping and shove the fucking clapping. Let's start respecting, and more importantly, let's start paying people properly, shall we? Right, that's it for now. You take care, boys and girls, and anyone who knows about wooden barrels, please let me know.